A new top-tier Dragon Ball Heroes TUR. But how should you build his hidden potential? How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We're back for another Dokkan battle video. In today's video, we are taking a look at the Super Full Power Saiyan 4 Limit Breaker Vegito from this year's Super Dragon Ball Heroes collaboration campaign, and talking about how to build his hidden potential, because he kind of has a very obvious route. But let's go ahead, let's jump on in and take a look. So this guy is leader skill Dragon Ball Heroes Giant Power Fused Fighter, category key 3, HP attack and defense 170%, with an additional 30% to characters who belong on the crossover category. He has an interest animation that activates once only upon entry, with that gives him a chance of performing a critical hit 30%, and reduces damage received by 30% for 6 turns from his entry turn. He gets key 3 attack and defense 200%, plus an additional attack and defense 150% when performing a super attack. He has an additional 100% and great chance of launching an additional attack when there is another Giant 8 Power or crossover category ally attacking in the same turn, or a Giant 8 crossover category enemy. His chance of performing a critical hit 40% and reduces damage received by 30% when all allies are the same Giant 8 Power or crossover category characters. So as long as you have a full team that is Giant 8 Power or a full team that is crossover, you will activate his full passive, which is very easy to do when you look at, some of the characters that he would be linking well with, right? Like the Super Saiyan 4 Vegito, right? You might be running him next to the full power Super Saiyan 4 Goku. You might be running him next to the Limit Breaker Goku or Vegeta, depending on the team setup you're running, or maybe the Gogeta here. You might be running him on one of those teams, which will make him very, it'll allow you to keep up this passive, allowing him to tank for 60% damage reduction no matter where you put him. So it makes him a really good slot 1 unit for a lot of characters, at least for the first 6 turns. And I'm going to tell you right now, this guy's damage output, 6 turns is all you're ever gonna need as long as he is on the team, and it is Giant 8 Power or crossover, which is basically Dragon Ball Heroes, right? So knowing that, and knowing that he has an active skill that can be activated on the same turn, turn 3 when you have a full crossover team, or turn 6 any other time, that's his hidden potential becomes very obvious, right? So if we take a look here at the hidden potential system, right, we know that AGL types have a default, if you have multiple dupes in them, right, 79% to rainbow, you're talking about 20 extra additional orbs in for AGL type units. That equates to a 40% additional chance if you went full additional for him. If you went the opposite route and went crit, right, he'd be looking at an additional 30% critical hits, 15% dodge if you go full dodge. So knowing what he is good at, right, he is already launching additional supers, but he also has 60% chance to crit built in within the first 6 turns, 30% after that. So I'm going to tell you, it's really easy to get within those 3 turns and a full crossover team, right? So knowing that, you want to maximize what this guy is good at, and you do that by not giving him crit, but instead give him additional attacks, right? On a turn where this guy actually procs the 60% chance to critical hit, and you get 3 supers, you're talking about a high damage output turn, right? You give him, right, at 55%, you give him a couple skill orbs, and we're looking at, maybe you can get up to 10, right, which equates to about 20% additional combo attack, since he is an AGL, right? You can get an additional 20%, which isn't high, but that's still 20% more than you had before, right? this guy's got no need for crit. 60% crit built in is more than enough, right? And you'll see, you know, as you use him, you'll see he hits it pretty often with that 60%, right? We all trust God Goku's 60% chance to dodge, so I mean, no sense not to trust this guy's 60% chance to crit. So I would recommend going full additional with this guy, and then maybe supplementing whatever's left over in those extra nodes. Instead of crit, pulling him some evasion, whether he's 69 or 79%, just giving the rest to evasion, because again, he doesn't really need the critical hit, and you never know, that small chance to evade, right, that small 10-15% chance to evade may save you in the long run. I wouldn't recommend going full dodge, because I do think you would prefer the additional attacks, but I think a priority in additionals with sub dodge will work just fine for this guy. He will be critting more often than he doesn't, and on that active skill turn, right, along with a crit, you are talking a guaranteed crit, mind you, on that active skill turn. Nothing's standing in this guy's way after 3 supers. So guys, that is the video. Kind of a short one here, but it is, you know, pretty standard for what this guy should be built as, right? Unlike most characters where there's kind of a toss up, you could go either way and make an argument for much. No, I mean, this guy, pretty set in stone, you know, additionals maximize his damage output. That's what he's there for. That's what he's good at. So guys, that's it for the video. If you like the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let me know, what was your hidden potential build for this guy? Did you go additionals? Did you go full dodge? Or did you try something crazy and go full crit? Let me know in the comments down below. Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and aloha.